And we're back. The Jzone is on. I'm your host, JR.
And I'm your handsome host, JK Uwaweru. Welcome,
Joy. Where were you last week again?
I was at home.
I totally get her here. This is our way of talking. This is how we talk, and we bold and beautiful and handsome.
Yeah, this has every single normal regular day. We wake up like this,
day.
like we go to bed like this.
A
Just
day.
like this.
A day.
What is that?
A day.
Every day.
A day.
Welcome, guys, to the Jzone.
This is episode 4, JR and Joy. This is episode 4. People might be asking why I'm talking this way.
Yeah.
It's about time I came out bold and beautiful, just as I am on a daily basis. And I'm just bold enough to say and to speak the awesome way that I always do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Every day.
Wow.
Day. So today we're talking about being bold just like in the 90s, being bold and beautiful.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm saying, don't you worry, you'll remember the hacienda. Yeah. So yeah,
Totally ignore every single thing JK just said right now, and welcome to the Jzone. And today we're talking about something very interesting, which is identity. I think that's why JK is re-identifying himself again. I think this is the JK the real JK now, right?
yeah, this is the real me. For a very long time I've been struggling with this problem where I have to masquerade in front of people. Even you people who are very close to me,
We don't know you.
y'all know me as this dude who's just OD all the time.
But no,
but
you're
in
not.
real sense, I'm crank and popping,
Yeah.
Anyway, today I just embrace myself. I came out clean. This is how I am on a daily basis.
This you, man. This
Every
you.
day,
Okay,
every day.
You know what? Just do you.
In time.
But let us walk right into this coded segment. And today we talk about identity and boldness and 3 interesting characters in the Bible. Actually, 4 of them.
Yeah.
But we're going to concentrate on 3 of them.
Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah.
Wow. I've read the Bible. Like just any other person who's listening to this, they don't understand
What
how
you're saying,
these 3 guys come into the picture. They've not had a story where 3 guys with such names are together.
Yeah, they don't.
I don't know. I mean, tell us. Why? Who are these guys? Who are these guys?
You know what? I just have to confess, JK. It's good to get to know you at last.
Thank you,
because
bro. Bro.
I've been wondering, man. I've been looking at you and I'm like, there's somebody in there.
I feel you. I feel you.
There's somebody in there that needs to come.
I understand. That is exactly what America felt like when we voted in Trump. Yeah, we felt like there's somebody in there.
Oh Lord. You're forgiven.
But you know what? It's really nice.
You're forgiven.
Yeah, so
let's see how long you can hold this. You can pull this.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this on a daily basis and every day. Even towards the end of the week, y'all gonna come for City in the Hill and you gonna find me this way. I mean, Joy, let's go back to the coded segment. Talking time about Meshach, about Nanayas, and
Okay, today's episode is really interesting. I didn't see this coming.
So from Daniel.
Yes. Yeah, Daniel.
Daniel.
Yes.
Whatever. 1, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
And now from among these sons of Judah were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. And to them the chief of the eunuchs gave them names, and he gave Daniel the name Belteshazzar, to Hananiah Shadrach, to Mishael Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego.
Okay, these guys get taken to captivity. And the first thing the king does, the instruction that they're given is they change their names. And they're like young people from the Jewish culture. So they have their own given original names. If you call somebody Otieno, they're coming from, this other tribe. If you call somebody Wawero, they come from this other side, you see. And so the first thing they do is change their names to identify them now with the culture they've been brought into, which is the Babylonian culture. So I believe in one way or another, this is very significant in the sense of identity is very important. How people, what your name is, where that name comes from. When somebody mentions your name, what comes to their mind You get it? And so like naming is very, very important. That's why you see, some gospel artists when they like, when they're like in the secular, entertainment, and then like they get born again, they drop some of the names that like they have, because like, your identity is who you are. They get taken to captivity, and the first thing they do, they change the names. Later on in the same book, there's a situation.
Yeah.
Right? There's a situation.
And that is chapter 3,
16.
verse
From 16.
from 16.
Yes. Read from where you want to read from.
It's okay, guys. You can just read from anywhere. I mean, you can just
the Bible,
begin from beginning to the end. It's the word of God. It's wholesome.
What?
Yeah, it's wholesome.
Okay.
Whole.
Okay,
some,
okay.
Okay.
You get it. You get it, JK. JK will get it.
Okay.
Day.
3:13.
Yes.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, in rage and fury, gave the command to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spoke, saying to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you don't serve my gods or worship the gold image which I've set up?" Now, if you're ready at that time, you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the harp, the lyre, and the psaltery in symphony with all kinds of music, and you fall down and worship the image which I've made. Good. But if you do not worship, you shall be cast immediately into the midst of a burning, fiery furnace. And who is the God who will deliver you from our hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If that is the case, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning, fiery furnace, and he will deliver us from your hand, O king. But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor will we worship the gold image which you have set up."
Okay, so this boils down to this point. These people, their name was changed, right? They're the same people, but brought in a different culture, right? They brought in a different culture. Now, to change them, the first thing they do is change their names. But as you read that whole scripture, if you read that whole part that we're talking about right now, what you see is changing their name did not actually change their character and their identity, because they were Jews who believed in one true God. They did not worship idols, these kind of things. And so they stand before the king, very bold. And the king is like, "You know what? I heard that you guys don't worship the same God that I worship, the idols and all that." They're like, yeah, that's true, okay? We don't worship your God because we identify with our God, who is the one true God. And so I believe identity is very important, because sometimes if you know who you really are, no matter what the pressures that are around you, you will always stand. You get it? Like, you will always stand for what you believe in, rather than what you are imposed into to believe. Like Rihanna and all these other people, they usually say that they have alter egos, and they can't like when they're on stage, they can't do what they do on stage when they're outside there. And the reason why is because somebody else takes over. Yes, I believe also the issues of identity is much more deeper than just a name or just how you identify yourself. They are always like there's something happening in the background when you identify yourself in a certain way and in a certain manner, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I believe such occurrences happen, especially for artists who are in the art scene and the art business. You get to have two personalities, because when you got into the scene, whatever you were doing at that moment, there was somebody that you're looking up to at that moment, and it felt as if you cannot be enough by yourself. You need to have something that is from the person that you're looking up to. Yeah. So you find yourself and get to express yourself in a certain way that looks a little less or a little more like the person that you look up to, just to have that acceptance socially, and even amongst your peers, your friends, and even the people that you want to adore you. And that drives us to very many things, even in decision making, of what identity to put up when we are around certain people. I mean, around family, what do I show my family? How do they know me? When I'm at work, what do I show the people who are at work? When I'm in school, what do I show my classmates, my schoolmates? It's a matter of, what, I want them to see this side and not the other side, and it's really confusing.
Sad.
Every day.
Today just another special day.
Yeah, and that brings us to, without this segment. So I believe, like, if our culture or our country or like individually, if we didn't identify ourselves in a certain manner or in a certain way, I think there'll be confusion. Case in point, if your employer knows you as the manager and then you show up one day and you show up as janitor. Now that doesn't confuse everybody else because they know you as who? As the manager.
Yeah.
They don't expect that. So I think the issue of identity, even in our culture, case in point, and that kind of reflects whatever it is we're talking about, in the previous episode when we're talking about this whole issue of tribeless youth and all that, is because identity is so important. If you try to ignore it, if you try to get rid of it, then you cannot really stand out and define yourself. This is also like happening in the United States of America. Now, women are identifying now as men, and men are identifying as women, and older men are identifying as girls, girls.
It's a huge problem back at home.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem. We're still fighting with it in prayers, and we know that the Lord is gracious enough, and He'll see us through.
In one day.
And one day, just women will just accept to be women and men will just accept to have beards and facial hair that is completely, and even the chest hairs, and just be men. You know what I'm saying?
Because identity is a gift from God, because even God identifies himself, right? In the book of Genesis chapter 1, he shows up and says, I'm the creator. In the book of Revelation, the last book of the Bible, he shows up and says, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. So identity is very important. If we know who we are, then we can know how to carry ourselves, we can know how to behave around people, we can know how to act, we can know how to do every single daily thing in our life. You get it? If you're a son to somebody else, which means you have a father, they know you have to treat your father with respect. You have to treat your mother with respect. Now, if you're a student, that means you have to obey the authority that you're under. Now, if you don't, if you're a student but you identify as the teacher, then there'll be a conflict of interest. That is when you get into trouble, because you'll be doing things that only teachers should be doing. You'll be marking your own books, or you won't be doing your your homework because you think you are not supposed to do it. And also, the issue of identity also brings us to the point of even of boldness, like this gentleman that we see, because you know who you are. It doesn't matter what people think or feel, or what they think about the situation. You know who you are. So I think identity, how we identify ourselves, who we are, and who God says we are, is very, very important in our culture and in our country, in every single place that we come from.
It's amazing that you mentioned that point of where because of the identity they had the boldness, and that is very key. When you know who you are, ain't nothing gonna shake you, ain't nothing gonna put you down. You'll always be
nothing gonna shake you.
That's exactly how you say it. That's exactly how you say it. You're totally okay, bro, because it's God's plan that we have an identity,
right?
Identity, and it's amazing because with a steadfast identity, you have the conviction enough to know who you are, enough to drive boldness out of you wherever you go. No matter whoever tries to bring their ideologies, you have the boldness to know that, I know who I am, and I'm so sharp and I'm so straight about this whole idea that you ain't gonna shake me, you ain't gonna put me down. And that is exactly what they show when they say this statement. You know what? We ain't gonna bow down to you.
Nah.
Because God is gonna come and sort us out. And even if He ain't gonna show up and sort us out, we still ain't gonna bow down to you.
My point is, no matter what happens, we going to
so you guys, you see, these guys don't know their identity. They have a problem with their identity right now. That's why they're just merging into my identity right now. But you see, I put this.
No, just helping you out. You're right.
You feel the vibe from my side. You feel the vibe from my side, and I'm done, man.
You're done.
You're done.
You people get me. You people get me. You people get me.
For a moment there, you almost became a Nigerian.
So don't worry. Don't you worry. I'll get to explain that to you behind the scenes and after the podcast.
Thank you so much, JK.
What? Musical.
But I'd like to point at a few guys who do bold music, and then we can do some bold music ourselves right now because we are part of those guys. So I'll recognize a few from Kenya because I'm staying here for the time being before I go back and serve my country people in my queen. But already in Kenya, we've had a few guys. I've had the chance to listen to Giuliani specifically. Giuliani. I thought it was Giuliani, and then I was told the you actually pronounce it as oo. So I say Giuliani. Giuliani does some amazing music when it comes to being bold and just being. I almost said being beautiful as well, but being bold about your identity, not only your identity in Christ, because this dude is an activist and as well as a Christian at the same time. So he has the identity which he protects, which is of Christ, and also the identity to know that he belongs to a country and to a nation. And as well, we have Sarabi Band. We've had Sarabi Band as well. They've done some pretty good job in their music and the music that they do, and they've gone around the world to just present the same to the rest of the world and show them that we also have some diversity and some sense of pride in our culture and our sense of belonging. We have a couple of other guys, but those are the most important ones. There was a song that was released recently also by Sauti Soul and this other dude with dreadlocks. What is his name, please? Nyashinsky. I had a problem when I came and I had to learn his name. I used to just call
really
him
difficult.
I used to just say Shinsky, Skinky, Skunk Fu, and I was just I didn't know, but they did a song. I love the musicality bit of it. I won't comment the lyrics because there's some few off lines here and there because you've had your credits mixed up. You're crediting the wrong people and accrediting the wrong ones. All I'll say is the musicality bit of it. Of course, you guys are talented, but on the part of history and accountability, you got that all wrong. But we get the message. We will tuji angalie. We will look at ourselves. I'm made to understand that is what it means. Look at yourself, and I'm just gonna look at myself, and I'm gonna say I'm fearfully and wonderfully made because that is my identity. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
The person I was thinking I was going to do a collab with right now on a certain song on Musica, he's not yet come through. So I don't know. I don't know if you have any. Do you have any song we can do
from
today?
England.
From
probably you guys don't know them. They're very cultural songs back from England because they speak about the
Let me ask you a question.
You can ask me a question.
Yeah. So when you're young, most of the time you sing a certain song very boldly. Very, very boldly. Because you know who you are.
Yes.
You're a kid. Though you don't know that. The surprise is 99% of the lyrics are completely off. It's like you doing a cover and you completely butcher the lyrics. Is there any song you growing up in
England?
In England.
Well,
you totally had it off.
Fire the black sheep. That was that. There is also another one, row your boat, row your boat, and then we have
Would you like to sing it for us?
Father Abraham. I can sing Father Abraham.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Father Abraham, how many songs? So Father Abraham, I am Manoe. So I use all letters, praise the Lord. Baba black sheep, I love you. You are manana. I don't know, man. I think I got that mix up, but that was.
That still doesn't change who you are, right?
That doesn't change who I am. I mean, there are a lot of guys who misunderstood the kind of inspiration. Misunderstood.
No. That is just the effect of Kenya, working on you.
Totally
understand.
There are a lot of guys who misplaced their lyrics. They wanted to sing a Swahili song or to say about the ascension of Jesus Christ, and they ended up mixing them up and saying, pernde. They wanted to say Jesus died and ascended, pernde. Jesus died.
So you've
and
heard that
ascended.
song? You've heard it?
Jesus resurrected and ascended. Panda.
Yeah.
He was down on earth. Panda. When you die, you're gonna ascend. Panda. You know.
Wow. Wow.
I think these are just a mix up.
I think you're a lyrical genius.
Yeah, man.
And like you should pursue this. You know.
Yeah, I've pursued it, but
as an identity, like you identify as a musician.
Yeah, but there are a lot of guys who are trying to get there because you're supposed to have your initials alphabetically, like JK. But now we have them confusing them up like OG. You're confused. You're confused.
Wow. So
it's supposed to be GO.
Yeah, because. So like,
but I guess they just don't want to go.
Yeah.
Hey.
So they're like every time they sing, I'm like, oh geez, I'm confused.
I have a question for you. So
you can ask me.
What would you like to say to your haters?
Well, I don't know if I have haters in the first place. I like to look at things positively. And I look at the haters and I see, you know what? These are just people, fans that are in the waiting room.
But just what?
Current affairs. You mentioned about the song, the Sauti Sol song. I think it is also like kind of inspired by whatever it is that is going on in Uganda. So there's this. Yeah, in Uganda again. Himself is just being himself. You know, so he's arresting every single person that kind of wants to come against him. And I think this still boils down to the issue of identity, because I believe like this guy has identified himself so much as the only president Uganda can ever have, and that is kind of also affecting everybody else, because every single person that wants to identify himself like that is a threat to him. Then this guy has to leave that office. He has to re-identify himself as the former president. Of course, he can't have that, right? People are now waking up to the realization that, you know, oppression cannot be justified in any way, whether politically, culturally, be it religiously. I think that is good. We're starting to wake up and to identify. You know what? You identify oppression where it is, no matter who is doing it. If the president, we just have to say, dude, you are going against the law here.
Maybe it's wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah, if it is wrong, it's wrong. We're going to tell it on your face. Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
exactly. But I think we got it twisted from our end also as well. I think we've thought about it from the point of the the local person in Uganda, how they view the presidency. But I also want to get into the mind of the president. You guys are listening to me. You know, this is not going to be serious. You know that, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking to get into the mind of the president. And he's like, you know what? He sits down and he goes on social media and looks at the Kenyan art scene, and he feels like, you know what? I'm here and I'm just one president. And Kenya, they have like a gazillion of kings going on, and you don't know what to do at that moment. And he's confused, like, you know what? I feel like Uganda is going down the same direction. And he's almost at that point of feeling like, you know what? This is the Jesus story deja vuing all over again. Where there was one king and all of a sudden there were a lot of kings being born at the same time. And I think Kenya is pretty liberated. Right. I mean,
yes.
Kenya is pretty liberated because if we have a president who can tolerate king posts on social media and be comfortable about it, I mean, that is just a beautiful country. I'm thinking if Kenya was where Herod was by that time, everybody just could just die. Everybody just be killed, man.
Yeah, like the kings, right?
Yeah, all the kings would be killed. So I think Museveni, I can help you. I got the name right?
Yeah.
It's not Museveni.
No,
it's Museveni. Not. Declare Uganda a kingdom, and then you be the king.
What?
And just like England, it will be passed down from generation to generation. You won't have to struggle anymore.
Wow.
It's a solution that we tried to use, and you can see these are the products that are talking to you right now through your earphones podcast.
I'm done. I'm done.
So this is what you go through every day. Every day.
current affairs. All right. Those are the current affairs for you right now.
Yeah,
Plus
but
also,
that is what is happening in the political scene.
Yeah.
But now we have the current affairs from back right here in the studio, right here at home, and something that is happening, something beautiful that is happening in a week's time. That is in exactly 6 days to come. Actually 5, because 5 days or 4 days to come, because today is Monday. So in 4 days to come, we are staging City on a Hill, a beautiful artistic showcase that will be going down at the Nakuru Place Theatre on the September 1st from 1 p.m. The doors open at 1 p.m. Just for guys to come in and settle down, and then the show kicks off at exactly 2 in the PM. And it'll just be amazing. We'll have I guess people like to know what is happening. What I'll tell you is that we're getting deep and wide into the scripture with Matthew 5:14, which is our theme for this event, where it says, you are the salt of the earth, and the city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. So we'll have a lot of worship going on, poetry, music, but above it all, there is just the grace of God that we desire to see moving in just a mighty way, and to just ask that the Holy Spirit guides us through. So we'd ask you guys to come through. Actually, there's a flash sale of tickets that is happening. Actually, right now are remaining with a few hours till the flash sale is over. We're giving a 17% off discount to anybody who purchases the tickets by 28th midnight. Be very, very sure to check that out. That is by tomorrow, which is Tuesday, by tomorrow midnight. That is 250 Kenya shillings, $2.5 a day.
Okay, that is the real JK, by the way, and we're just getting the hang of it. We're still not used to it, but the grace is sufficient. The grace is sufficient. A day.
That's him keeping it 100.
Yeah, keeping it 100. Yeah. This week, our spiritual father and mentor, that is Bobby Singh. Bobby Singh.
Hi, Pops.
Hey, Pops. Hey, G.
You've totally had, eventually you've had the real me talking to me.
This is really sad.
You guy from India, and then I'm from England. I mean, what are the odds? But this is what we do every day.
Yeah, so he put up a post, and I think that came out very nicely. Okay, to people like us, it was not a surprise. He just drops bombs on you, man. And you're like, what? Okay, that was totally hardcore. And the post goes like this.
If you want to follow your dreams, I suggest you go to sleep. Don't sing to the Lord from the bottom of your heart. The heart is deceitful. Do it from the core of your spirit. He desires true worshippers. Beware of unsound cliches. Roses are not just red. They're also pink, yellow, white, and etc. And who really cares what color violet?
All right.
Life is not at all about flowers.
Yes.
Remember how God introduces thorns and thistles?
Yes.
If 2 wrongs don't make a right, try 3.
Yes.
You have plenty of time to make mistakes and learn from them anyway.
Yes.
Not all who die rest in peace. Eternity has the same pretty ugly prospects too.
Ooh. Ouch.
Isn't it interesting how you could use the words pretty and ugly in the same sentence? Don't go asking Lord for trouble. He is forever faithful. If you think math is difficult, then try understanding women.
That is a woman reading that right there. That is a woman with 0 chills.
True that. Yes.
At least in math, you can find X. With women, there's no telling which letters have value or if the alphabet even matters. By the way, Apostle Paul never had a problem with algebra. You see, Paul was a Roman, and for the Romans, X was always 10. If you ever told a woman there's love in the air, you need to apologize and set the record straight. You're more likely to find hydrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and not to mention dust. Oh God, pups, pollen, and numerous forms of bacteria.
Yes.
I know. Reality sucks. Don't try to impress that girl with poetry and flowers.
Yes.
You send her your bank statement. There's enough poetry there. That's how you make a true statement of love.
Yes.
Just make sure there's money in your account.
Yes.
No, we don't want to go around making the wrong kind of statements. I hope you find the girl of your dreams. In which case, you'll have to go back to sleep.
Yes.
Now, admit that you really like this message. Go on, save this post on your phone, and that is Bobby Singh.
Bobby Singh.
Wishing you a realistic day. Keeping it real, people. Keeping it real.
Keeping it with sporadic code.
I'd like to go first at this.
Yes.
Before you get in, because I know you have something that is really deep as well.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling really light today, so I'd rather stick to the shallow end. So,
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey. Thank you.
Very many times we've had a dozen of cliches that go around. Love is in the air, love being blind.
Yeah.
If love was in the air as well, I used to wonder. I was raised up knowing their air fresheners. They're very. I don't know if you guys know them from Kenya. In England, they're very, very, very.
Oh, you think we don't know air fresheners?
Oh, you know them. You know them.
No, you
okay.
think?
Okay. All I've seen on TV, on your TVs, on your TV stations are Doom, and
Bacon.
a lot of bacon. So I wasn't sure. Like if you guys have air fresheners in real life. Yeah. I think your back problem is much more bigger. Anyway, I used to think if there is love in the air, why do we need air fresheners? Is it that love stinks or something? I didn't know.
Yeah, true.
I was confused, And then there was a lot of hatred going around, hatred on social media, hatred everywhere. I used to suffer from social media bullying while I was young. Yeah,
Really?
From my young age, while I was still 9 months old.
What?
I had already developed a gentleman pose and vigor, but still people looked at me as a child and they used to comment aw.
What?
Aw.
You mean oh?
Oh yeah, that is how you do it here in Kenya. Back there
No,
we're very modest.
that's how you do it everywhere.
No, in England.
Oh.
But anyway, what I mean to say is that this dude has been straightforward, straight to the point, the reality of everything. About roses. Actually, there's a black rose, which in my life I want to touch that one. A day.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the new JK. I really don't know. I don't know, but
Grace is
yeah, the grace
too sufficient. Too sufficient.
Yeah, moving on swiftly.
Feedback segment.
Yeah, feedback segment, and I got actually. This is interesting, personal to me, because I got a message from my mom, and she's been listening. It's amazing. All my siblings have been listening apparently, and my dad also. They were very excited to hear my voice over the airwaves, and I appreciate God for that, and thank you all for listening, and every single person that has been listening, by the way, even our ministry. And it's really interesting. Thank you guys so much for honoring us, for listening in. You usually keep it serious, sometimes not very serious. Life is not all about seriousness, but that's just us. That's just, you're awesome, you're amazing.
Yeah, thank you for always saying. I meet a lot of people who say, JK, you're my favorite. JK, you're favorite. I mean, without you on that whole podcast thingy, I don't think we would be listening in the first place. I mean,
wow, you're told that?
There's a lot of guys who say, you know what? I mean, you bring the light.
The irony.
You bring the light into that dark studio. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so sweet of you. Yeah. I mean, I don't deserve that, but I mean, there's nobody else to take it for me. I mean, the other two guys are really trying to get there, but I'm still mentoring them. And we ask, I mean, mentoring.
Hey.
But in all the feedback that I've been getting, all the text that people sent me, and my number is out there. You can send me the text anytime. In fact, if you check in your phone right now, you'll find my number. You see, right there, you just found it. It's just somewhere in your phone. Yeah. Just reach out to me anytime, and and trust me.
Wow.
I have given myself to this podcast. Wow. This is the reason I never leave Kenya.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For the people.
For the people.
You do this
by
for
the people.
By
I'm
the
like
people.
democracy.
Yeah.
I'm like democracy.
For the people, by the people.
to the people, from
Wow.
the people. It's all about the people every day.
Learn with the Jzone.
And
So today you got to learn who the real JK is. He's that guy where, you know, like, he just keeps it real, you know, like how he feels about it, the situation every day. How he also takes us as Kenyans and Africans sometimes, you know, and I mean, who cares, right?
What do we say?
Yeah, what do you say? What do you do? That is how most of the time people identify us. Necessarily don't mean that is how we are. And that's why I think this topic today is very important, because people want to identify you in a certain way. Most of the time you give them the reason to identify you that way, but most of the time it is kind of a misquotation of who you really are. So you present yourself this way, but they totally get a different perception of the whole reality. So I think that is also important in the context of know who you are. No matter what anybody says about you, you need to stand your ground and know who you are. And the best way to identify, not even the best way, the way that was made for a human being to identify himself was identifying himself in God.
Yeah.
So may you find your identity in God first of all, and then every single thing will now be in line in your life. All right. So may God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. It's been real.
Yeah, it's been English. It's been a lot of English.
Yeah.
That I know that was a lot of airtime to use, but it's okay. As I told you, I'm still mentoring them.
So I've been your host, JR.
And I've been your handsome and always beautiful voice co-host, JK.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed.
Moi.
Bonjour. Yeah, bonjour.
Right.
Yeah, in England we say, you know, you don't say hi or hella or hello. No, you say hello. There's a huge difference.
And the difference is
in the pronunciation. You guys probably don't know this, but in the hello there's two L. There are two L's, but the two L's.
We have two L's in Kenya too for hello.
Log out.
It's been real. It's been legit. Until we meet on Saturday for City on a Hill. God bless you, and we are out.